Hello everyone and welcome back to another Thrift Store Thursday. I am so glad you guys stopped by today because I think today is going to be so much fun. Now you probably remember last week I asked you guys for some questions and today I plan to answer those. And I have quite a few questions to answer, which I think is awesome. So thank you to all of you who sent me a question. I really appreciate that. And there's a quite wide range of questions as well. So I think that is even more exciting. So I am excited to get into this, answer your questions, and then of course, when I'm done with that, I will be sharing photos that were sent in from all of you viewers who's participated this week with sending in photos of your thrifted home decor displays. And oh my goodness, have I been having fun with this. So many of you sent in photos of your thrifted decor, and I have to say, I am a little bit overwhelmed by it. But at the same time, I've been having a blast with it. I love looking at your photos, and I am having so much fun with this, and I cannot wait to share with you these photos that were sent in to me. So thank you to everyone who sent in a photo. I think this is going to be a big hit, and I, for one, have very much enjoying it, and you guys are very talented. Let me just say that right off the get-go. You guys have some decor talent. So I'm excited to share that with you guys, and we'll do that as soon as we get done with the Q&A section of this video. So I hope that you guys are comfortable because I think this may turn into a rather long video. I will try to get through the things rather quickly as much as I can. I'll try not to be too chatty, but at the same time, I'm kind of in the mood for a big, long, chatty video. So this is going to be perfect for it today. So get comfortable, get yourself a snack and a drink, settle on back, and let's get into this. Yay! The first question was, is there a craft you have always wanted to try but haven't yet? That's a very good question. There's a lot of things that I haven't tried yet, which I want to try to do. One of the things that I would really love to start learning how to do is watercolors. I don't know, I love the look of watercolors, but at the same time, I know you have to be able to draw things, and I can't draw things at all. I have no talent for drawing whatsoever, but I am thinking I could probably do some sort of abstract watercolor. I might be able to handle that. I don't know. But I do know that drawing thing is something that you can develop. And that's one of the things that I would really love to learn how to develop because I would love to be able to draw. I have 3 daughters two of which are incredibly good at drawing. And I don't know. I would think I would rub off on me a little bit. But so far it hasn't. The other thing, there is one craft that I would really love to do, which I saw, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years ago on Pinterest. And it was a pillow made of felt that the front of the thing looked like a dahlia flower. And it was absolutely gorgeous. And I keep thinking about that and wanting to do that. I think I've mentioned this before. So, I mean, this is something that I've seen years ago, and it's still in my brain about wanting to try to make that pillow. So, one of these days, maybe I'll get around to that. But those are the 2 things, watercolors for sure, and make that dahlia pillow. I think that would be so much fun. So, that answers that question. So, the next question is, where and how did you gain your skills? For example, sewing and woodworking. Sewing I learned from my mother. I also took a home ec class and we made a pillowcase and a pair of pajama pants. And that was really kind of what got me started into sewing. But I had always seen my mom sew. I mean, she used to make us, dresses for Christmas every year. She sewed clothes for us the whole time I was living at home. And, I remember going to the fabric stores with her, picking out the pattern of ooh, I want this. And, and then picking out the fabric and that sort of thing. One of the things that I remember picking out for sure that my mom made for me, and I absolutely love it, I used to wear it all the time, it was an Easter outfit. And it was just a simple, skirt with a jacket. You do remember the jackets of the late 80s with the shoulder pads and real boxy, with the little pockets on the outside? Yeah. And the color of the time was that mint green. She made me a jacket and skirt that was mint green. I picked out the pattern, I picked out the fabric, and I wore that thing all the time. I loved that thing. It was I probably wore it for 2 or 3 years. But yeah, so that's kind of like seeing my mom sewing. She would teach me, she taught me how to, follow a pattern, that sort of thing. And then I really wasn't all that interested in it until I had my own kids. And then I kind of took it up again and I kind of just went with it. And a lot of the things I just kind of figure out on my own. I used to make my girls little dresses and little pajamas and that kind of stuff. And then when I got more into home decor, that's when my sewing skills really took off, where I wanted to make quilts and, curtains and pillows and all that kind of stuff. So that is where I learned my sewing bit. As for like woodworking and stuff, that was my dad's thing. My dad, I feel like he could make anything. He was like a jack of all trades. And just being around him, watching him do things, and as I got older, helping out when he needed me to help out. And then as I got even older, when they built their cabin, I was so happy to help out with that. So there was a lot of like building and kind of like knowing how to put things together sort of thing. He was very, very good at that. And I think I learned that from him, to be able to break things down into, the steps that you need in order to produce something, if that makes sense. So just from like watching him, and I know how he would do things. So that is something. And then, I never really used to build anything on my own. I think the first thing I built was the shelf that I have downstairs next to my back door. And I probably built that like 10 years ago. And my husband was like, "What? I didn't know you could do that." I'm like, "I didn't know I could do it either." But I did it, and this is awesome. And I've just kind of rolled with that from now. And then, not to say, but I will say, most of the things that I make are very simplistic, because that's the style I like anyways. But the overall structure of it is very simple. So that makes it a whole lot easier to produce some things too. Nothing is like ornate, and all that kind of, or complicated. So yeah, so that's kind of how I learned to do things. I wish now that my dad's gone that I would have learned even more. Like I should have paid more attention when he was like working on the car and that kind of stuff. Because I could never wrap my head around the fact that he would just instinctively know like how to fix something in the car. Do you know what I mean? Or how do you even know where to look for a problem? That sort of thing. That mechanical part of it, I have no skill in that whatsoever. And I wish that I did. If that makes sense. So anyways, I hope that answers that question for you. Alright, so moving on to the next question. It is, do you ever sell your thrifted, upcycled items? And if so, do you use a Facebook Marketplace? I have not sold any of my things like thrifted items or upcycled items. It has been a dream to do so. I keep telling myself I'm going to start an Etsy shop, and I've shopped from, I have a ton of stuff to sell on Etsy, but I have yet to do it. I feel like I never seem to have the time to sit down and do it. I haven't made that a priority. But at the same time, I don't know where I would come up with that time at this point. One thing I have been thinking about is to try to sell occasionally via Instagram. I follow a few people that do that on there. That's one way I may start doing that. And if I do, I will definitely let you guys know. But as of right now, I don't have any real plans to do that. If I do anything like that, it'll most likely not be till like fall. Once I get through this summer and the craziness that summer has in store for us. And then after that, maybe I'll start doing that. But I really would like to start selling. I don't know if I'm going to like it though. So I'm thinking that this Instagram way of doing it might be kind of like a little sticking my toes in sort of situation to see if I like it or not. Because I don't really want to commit if I'm not going to like it, because I don't know. I'm not much of a salesperson, if you know what I mean. I don't like I had one garage sale when my kids were probably like my oldest was probably 5, and I absolutely hated it. I did not like selling my stuff like face to face with the customer. Did not like that at all. Ever since I'm never having another garage sale if I can avoid it. So I don't know if I'm going to enjoy the selling part of it. I just don't know. So the Instagram way of doing it might be a nice way to like dip my toes in a little bit, see if I like it. And then if I do, I can go on and do the Etsy thing. It's kind of my thought process. And as for Facebook, I really don't use Facebook anymore. I don't know. It just got too political for me, so I just kind of pushed that aside and I don't use it anymore. So the next question is, when do you start planting flowers and vegetables, and what are you planning to plant this year? Typically, May 12th is the recommended planting day in my zone. I'm in zone 4, and normally that is when they suggest planting. However, the last couple springs, it has been like 2 weeks to 3 weeks after that. It has not been very good like vegetable growing seasons the last couple of years. However, plants are a little more versatile. As for which type of plants I want to plant this year, I want to keep things simple. If you remember last summer, I finally finished my backyard reorganization of my flower beds, and I absolutely love how they are. There's a few spots that I need to fill in, and I have to be patient for plants to get bigger. But I do have a few spots open in which I would love to put in some more hydrangea. A lady can never have too many hydrangeas, if you ask me. And then I'd also like to add a few more like flowering shrubs. One of my favorites is potentilla. And then of course there is a spirea. A lot of people give spirea a bad name, but seriously, those suckers bloom like twice a year if you get the right kind for your area. And they always add a nice color. And then I'd also like to add a little bit of greenery. I would love to transplant a pine tree from down at the cabin into my backyard, because it's a different type of pine, like the long-needled pine tree. But I'm not sure if I will do that. I haven't found the right place for it. I would also like to plant a flowering tree of some sort in my backyard that's ornamental, that won't get really big, if that makes sense. But that's been on my list for quite a few years. So that's what I'd like to do per flowers. But other than that, I mean, I could not plant any flowers this year, like perennials, and I would still be okay. As for annuals, I definitely will be planting zinnias. I love zinnias. And then I'll be doing impatiens, because I like to do those as well. What else? There was one plant last year. It started with a C. I cannot remember the name of it. But it was very similar to like million bells, if you know what those are. I got a plant of those, just because it was on sale. It looked really haggard at the grocery store, or at the store. But it was on sale for like $3 because, it was kind of like dying off. Like, I'll get it and see what happens. And that plant was my favorite plant of the summer. So I'm going to try to get some more of those. I cannot remember what they are called, but they just get really moundy, and they like trail down off the sides of the container, and they are absolutely fabulous. I wish I could remember the name of them. I know it starts with a C. I think it's like CAP something, and then weird. It's kind of like a blend between a million bell and like a tulip almost. But anyways, and I loved it because it got nice and lush and full. It got covered with flowers, and you didn't have to deadhead, which is awesome. So anyways, so those are the plants that I would like to plant this year. And then, yeah, and now hopefully if spring works out well enough for me, I will be planting sometime around the 12th of May. As for vegetables, I guess I should mention that. I'll be doing cucumbers, green beans, not green beans. What am I thinking? Nobody eats the green beans when I grow those. Cucumbers, tomatoes, onions, green peppers, jalapenos. I think those are all the vegetables. So I would like to try potatoes. I've never grown potatoes before, but I hear they're really easy to grow. Oh, and of course, pumpkins. I'll throw in some pumpkins too, because having little baby pumpkins and pumpkins to decorate with, I love that when it comes to fall. So I normally try to do at least 3 types of pumpkins. Some little small pumpkins. I always try to do white pumpkins, but I never get very many of those. And then, of course, like some medium-sized, regular, like, you know, pie, what do they call them? Pumpkin pie ones that are, you know, like tiny. Not the jack-o'-lantern size, but a little bit smaller. So, yeah. That is what I will probably plant in the vegetable garden this year. Alright, so moving on to the next question. That one's a really long question, sorry. Next question is, what is your family doing to pass the time? I have to be perfectly honest. We are such homebodies that, you know, being at home is not such a big thing. We're all just kind of doing our own thing. You know, we eat some food, we do some stuff, and we take some naps, you know, that sort of thing. The only one that's really, I think, having a really hard time with it is Zoe, my youngest. She's our little social butterfly. But the first week was, wow. But she's gotten used to it now. And yeah, so it's kind of like we're just hanging out, doing our thing. The girls, my 2 oldest, are very, very, they love to draw. So, I mean, that's what they're doing all the time. They're either drawing, they're either sleeping, or they're playing a computer game, which is basically what they've been doing the whole time. And that is fine. I myself have been trying to keep super busy and like trying to get all these little projects that I've been putting off around the house done. And I've been getting through some of them, but then at the same time, I'm not getting through as many as I had hoped to get through, but I've definitely been keeping myself busy. There is no shortage of things to do around here, that is for sure. And then, of course, the babies take up some time every day, too, so that's always a nice thing. So, yeah. So, I don't know. I'm not having a problem with having to stay at home at all. I am actually preferring it. I feel like I've got so much time to be creative and to do things that I want to do, as opposed to trying to work it in to, you know, our schedule. So it's actually kind of been a little bit of a blessing in that way. And at the same time, I got all my people with me. You know, my babies are home with me, and what's better than that? So I think it's great. I think I would be a little more nervous about the whole situation if, you know, like my girls were out living on their own or whatever. But for now, everything is cool. Everything's cool. So, moving on to the next question. I hope I'm doing okay with these questions and these answers. We'll see, I guess. What you guys think? Oh, this is a good question. When did your love of thrifting start? Is there a time when I did not thrift? Yes, there was. This is again something that was very much influenced by my parents. When I was growing up, we would go garage selling quite a bit. Now, I know I've been told that thrift stores are open around that time, but I do not remember ever going to a thrift store. It was always a seasonal thing. We would go to garage sales in the summertime. Sometimes, you know, like probably once a month, it would be like an all-day sort of thing. We'd all get in the car. My parents would each give us $1, and we would see how long our dollar would last throughout the day. And they would do some shopping and some garage selling, you know. And it was a good family activity. It was an entertainment for us. So that is how my first exposure to secondhand buying of things. It wasn't until after I was through college, married, and had my own children that I really started going back into garage selling. So there was probably a 10-year period where I didn't do any garage selling, but then I had my first child, and my husband was working full-time. I was a full-time stay-at-home mom, and money was tight. So I did do a lot of thrifting in the summertime for like clothes for the baby and that sort, anything householdy that I needed. So once we moved to this house, my kids were really little, so I would only do garage selling in the summertime with them, and that was always a fun little thing, and they loved it. So once my kids got, into school age and like kindergarten age, I had the opportunity to watch my sister's children, from when they were babies until they went into kindergarten. So once we got through all of the children, at that point, all of a sudden I had all this time on my hands because all the kids were in school. So that's at what point that I discovered that there was a thrift store near me. And I started going, occasionally. And then it started over the course of a couple of years. It started to become more and more of a thing. And the fact that I would go like every single week on a specific day. And then my sister decided to be a stay-at-home mom. And then I roped her into the thrifting thing. So it has become, and now it's of course morphed into this thing where I could go absolutely every single day if I could wing it. So yeah, so that's kind of my thrifting story. It was garage sales and it just kind of morphed into other things as well. One of the things I would love to be able to morph into from this point is estate sales and that sort of thing. Is not something that I've ever really, or auctions. I haven't really even gotten into that scoop of things, but kind of seems like the natural progression. So that's something I would like to look into if I ever get the time. Alright, so the next question is, what is the name of the antique place that you went to with Jamie and Nicole? Alright, that is in Apple Valley, Minnesota, and it is called Hopped Antique Market. And it is open to specific days every month. I haven't been on their website to check it out lately at all, but I will try to link that down in the description box for you in case you are interested in that. So there were quite a few questions about what would be my favorite thing to find at the thrift store, that sort of thing. So let me just read through a few of them here. One is, what is the one thing you have always wanted to find that you absolutely dream about but haven't found so far? And then another one is, what is the one thing crafted or thrifted that you have made or found? The next one is your dream find when out thrifting. And then what would you consider your all-time jackpot item to find thrifting? So all of those questions are all very similar. Basically, what is the one thing that I would love to find at the thrift store but have yet to find it? And then what was the other one was like, what would you consider the one jackpot item, like if you found at the thrift store, you'd be like, woohoo, this is awesome, and you'd go like crazy. Alright, so the first thing that I've always been looking for at the thrift store and have yet to be able to find is a very specific cake carrier. I love vintage cake carriers. I think they are so awesome. I have two of them. I've had many over the past year, but I wheedled it down to two. I used to have three up there, but they take up a lot of space. But I have two up there. One square one, one rectangle one, and they're both like stainless steel. I would love to find myself a red and white cake carrier that's like tin that has a flower motif on the side. I saw one years and years and years and years ago when I went to the junk bonanza that they have here in Minnesota, like once a year. I think it's twice a year now, but back then it was only once a year. But it was like $45, and at that time there was no way I was going to spend $45 on a cake carrier. So that is the elusive thing. I've seen a lot of cake carriers at the thrift store, but not in the red and white with the flower motif. That is what I am looking for. And someday I will find it. Someday I will find it. The other thing that I really have been looking for, and I would consider my jackpot find if I ever found it, would be either a tuft sofa or a chair with the tufting on it. I want to find a vintage tuft chair so badly in like either a red velvet, like covered in velvet, of course. It has to be velvet. Like either a red velvet or like some like just obnoxiously bright color velvet, if you know what I mean. Doesn't matter what color, yellow, pink, green, just out there. That is what I want. I would really love a chair like that. But a couch would be even better. So that would be my jackpot items. So those are the two like things that are like my holy grail of things that I'm looking for. Which, I may or may not find. That cake pan or the cake carrier, I'm pretty sure I'll find. Someday I will find it. I have no doubt about that. The tuft chair or sofa, I don't know about that, but it would sure be nice. And I would be so, so happy. So the next question that was asked quite a few different times in different ways was, what is the one favorite item that I have already found while out thrifting? Which is so hard to answer. Like, if you would have asked me that about maybe 10 years ago when I was just starting out thrifting, I think that first time I found a fantastically chippy, crazed, browned ironstone pitcher, I would have said that was that was it. You know, because that was what I was really looking for at that time. I have found so many furniture pieces, and I have found so many things over the years that I absolutely love. It's so hard to choose. Let me think. Alright, you know what? I do know. There is one piece that I have bought at the thrift store. It was less than $20. And as soon as I put it into the room, it transformed the room into what I had always hoped it could be. And that is the corner cabinet that I have in my living room. When I bought it, I can't remember how much it was. I think it was like $19.99. And it was not pretty. It was really ugly, I have to tell you. It was super like orangey yellowed oak, and it's pretty big. And it didn't look pretty at all. But as soon as I got it home and I got it painted and I put it in my living room where it hasn't moved since I put it in there. I put it in that corner, and it was like it was meant to be. It like transformed the room into that cottagey farmhouse style of a room that I'd always wanted the room to feel like, with a simple corner cabinet. It was amazing. So to me, that is the one find from the thrift store that really resonates as a really good find. So yeah, so it's the corner cabinet. So alright, so moving on to the next question is, are any of the girls thinking of going to college? And if so, will they go to another state? I have two girls, or my two oldest girls are going to college currently. They're going to community college. It's within a half hour of our house. Jasmine has graduated from high school and is going to college, obviously. My middle child, Jo, is actually still a senior in high school, but she is taking classes through the, community education program or whatever, where she can get her final credits for high school and take college classes at the same time. So she will graduate from high school this May, and she'll have, a few credits under her belt as well. She's also going to the same college that my oldest daughter is going to. The college that they're enrolled in is considered, a 2-year college. Basically, a lot of people go there, get a lot of their basics taken care of, or their certifications, that sort of thing, and then they move on to, 4-year colleges and, just have to finish up the last 2 years of their education there. So that is the plan. Whether or not they will go to another state, I am not sure. I think one of them may end up staying in Minnesota. The other one may end up going into Wisconsin. I'm not quite sure, though. We shall wait and see. So this is the first year that they're both, this is their first year of college, and then they'll still have next year to worry about before going on to the next stage of their life. So, yes. So they are going to college currently, and they will go on to a 4-year degree as well. So, all right. Next question. How far away does Nicole North Garden and Jamie from Border Bananas live? I'm not exactly sure, but I'm thinking we're all about half hour, 45 minutes away at the most. More like 30, 35 minutes away or so. So we're actually kind of triangulated. I'm a little farther down, and they're kind of out the other way. So it actually works out quite well. There's a lot of places that we can meet up. No, it's not you don't have to travel very far in order to see each other, which is really nice. All right, so the next question is, what is your favorite season to decorate for? And if it's Christmas, what's your second? I guess I have 3 favorite seasons to decorate for. I love to decorate for spring, for fall, and Christmas. In which order, I can't tell, because I enjoy the change of seasons so much. I look forward to the first snowfall of every year, and I'm eagerly waiting for it every single year. It never changes. So I like that part of it, of the change of seasons. So I think that gets me very motivated to redecorate. And those are the 3 major, changes that we here in Minnesota go through. There's springtime, when snow comes, or like when fall comes and the weather starts turning crisp and the air is cool, and then when the snow comes. So, I would think between those 3, spring, fall, and Christmas, I would say they're all my favorite when it comes that time. If that makes sense. I don't think I could pick between those 3. Like summer, I decorate a little bit for summer and I decorate a little bit for winter, but they're not as exciting to me as the other 3 of spring, fall, and Christmas. So, hope that answers that question. It's kind of a cop-out because I'm saying more than one, but I don't know. It's just like when that new season comes, I'm energized for it and I'm ready for it. I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, I guess that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. Next question is, this one's interesting. Well, how did you get started on YouTube, and what are your favorite videos to make? I don't know if any of you know this or not, but before I started on YouTube, I had a blog. It was called Happy at Home. It's still out there. I still post to it occasionally, not very often. But I did that. I mean, that was how I really got into, really honing my look for my home decor and sharing it and stuff like that. And I did that. I think I started my blog. Well, originally, yeah. I don't remember when I started it. Was it around 2009, 2010, somewhere around there is when I started the blog. And then I did that for a few years, and I did a lot of tutorials. And so it was taking pictures, a sequence of pictures to make, the story of, what I was putting together. And then I kind of stumbled, the girls got older and they started going onto YouTube to watch Stampy. They were totally into Minecraft. They absolutely loved it. And then I was like, what is this all about? I had to go check it out. And then I realized then I kind of got hooked on makeup, tutorials and that sort of thing. And there were a few little decorating stuff and stuff like that, which I would watch. But I really wasn't into it because I was still focused on whatever. So then, a year or so later, I decided I was going to try to make a video tutorial to put onto my blog. And that was pretty much the start of it. I realized how much more exciting, I realized how much more efficient filming something was instead of taking pictures and putting them in sequence. I found that much more creative, and I really, really liked that. And so at that point, I was still blogging, but I was making little video tutorials to put on my blog. And then slowly but surely, that started kind of taking over. And, I had my YouTube channel up. Basically, I made my YouTube channel to start sort of vlogging and putting up videos for just family members so that I could share that with them on an easy platform, because we don't have all of the family here in Minnesota. We're kind of spread out. So that was really the start of my YouTube channel. But then once I really got into the filming of my tutorials and stuff, it started to take over my channel, and that's kind of where it progressed. And all of a sudden, at some point, I think I took a summer off from blogging, and I never went back. I just started focusing on making videos instead, and that's kind of where it steamrolled from there. And I'm still enjoying it probably as much as I did way back then. And yeah, so it's very fun. I still love it so much. It is so much fun. And I'm constantly learning new things, which is really fun for a person like myself who likes to be creative and try to new things and kind of stretch my muscles, if you know what I mean. So yeah, YouTube is just a great platform for that in and of itself, and it just doesn't get boring. So I just keep at it. So basically, and then what is the second part of that question is, what are your favorite videos to make? I of course love my Thrift Store Thursday videos because I love that one. Not only because I like to go thrifting and I like to share what I found, but also because with those Thrift Store Thursday videos, I feel like there's a lot of interaction with viewers, and I really love that a lot. I like that a lot. But I mean, I have that with the other videos as well, but I think more so with my Thrift Store Thursday videos. The other type of video I've obviously love to make, show you my new decor items and stuff like that, but I would have to say like my thrift store makeovers. I always have so much fun with those. Yeah, so it's hard to really pin down what your favorite type of video is, but yeah, I would have to say between the two, it's the Thrift Store Thursdays and the makeovers, and of course, just like regular decorating, because those are my three biggest passions. So, hope that answers that question. Alright, so then moving on to the next question. Oh, this one's kind of fun. How did you meet your husband? I know you're a stay-at-home mom, but what did you do before that? So I met my husband through mutual friends. I was working in a restaurant at the time, and living in a college town. My husband was attending the college at the time, and he was in a fraternity, and one of his sorority sisters worked at the restaurant in which I worked at. We didn't actually get an official meeting through her, but apparently he asked about me to her, and she told him about me, and then a little while later he came up to me at a party. No, it was at a bar. He came up to me and asked me out, and I said no. Because at the time I was dating someone else. But then, yeah, I don't know. And then another time we just got to talking, and that kind of ended up, that was basically the end of it. We started dating, and we were inseparable after that. So that's basically how we met. And then what did I used to do before being a stay-at-home mom? I went to college to be an administrative assistant. I got that degree. So I did that for an engineering firm for a few years, kind of like that / receptionist kind of thing, which it was a decent job and I liked it, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do. So I did that for a while, and then I ended up going and working for a mortgage company, and I was an underwriter's assistant there. And then I went and worked at, where else did I work? Oh, and then after the mortgage broker, I went and worked at a financial institution in the 401k department, which was actually quite an interesting job. I actually liked that job quite a bit. But at that point, when I got that job, and I became pregnant, and then once I had my first child, I just didn't go back to work. So yeah. So I know my girls ask me, why would you go to school for administrative assistant? But that's just the type of person I was. I never wanted to be the person in charge. I wanted to be the person behind that person, keeping them organized and like in the groove. So that's my wheelhouse. I like that sort of thing. The organizing part, the keeping all the things together, juggling different things. That's what I love. So which is perfect for being a mom because that is basically what you need to do. So that worked out well for me. All right, next question is, what type of Pyrex dishes are you looking on the hunt for? What color or type? My dream is to have Pyrex dishes that are red and white. I know there's a red and white polka dot, what do you call it, set out there. I really have my heart set on red mixing bowls though. Oh, I don't care if they're not Pyrex. I want to find a pair like the milk glass, red on the outside, white on the inside mixing bowls. I think those would be so much fun. And then of course I'm always on the lookout for fridge dishes, and I would love a set of the red ones with the glass tops. Maybe someday I will find them at the thrift store. Who knows? So I have quite a few more questions to go through. So I am going to make an executive decision and split this into 2 videos because I want to have time to share with you the photos that were sent in to me. All right, if I have not answered your question, do not worry. I will do that. It'll just be next week because this is getting really, really long, really fast. So right now what I'd like to do is jump into the photos that were sent in by my viewers to share with you guys what they have done with items that they have found at the thrift store. I think you guys are going to like this a lot. So let's go ahead and show you some pictures. First up today is this photo sent in by Kelly. She found these brass candlesticks, which she likes to use in different displays throughout her home. And I am just loving this display she has put together. I love the candlesticks along with the mirror and then the gorgeous flowers, the little cloche, and the cute little bunnies, bunny banner. Oh, I just think it is so adorable. She also has a wonderful Instagram account. I have that up on the screen if you want to check that out. Next up is this planter that Levon found. She gave it a makeover with some paint, and then she added a rose topiary to it, which she made herself, and I think it turned out so pretty. I love it with the little bird sitting in front of it. It's so cute. Sandra found these amazing bookends. I've never seen anything like them. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. She also found this candle and candle holder, which is very pretty. Look at the flowers on there. Oh my, so pretty. She also found this flower pot. I think I have one very similar to that, if not the same one. I think that's cool. And she also found these tiny little brass candle holders as well, which are so cute. Joan put together a few displays to share with us today, starting with this doll vanity, which she used the idea that she saw on Nicole Northgarden's channel, and I think it turned out so cute. The doll vanity, the topiary, and the planter was all thrifted. Here's a close-up of the little drawer with the succulent and the tiny little bunny. How adorable is that? I love it. She also thrifted these 2 bunny tins, which are so adorable, and the planter in the middle. And look at those little carrots, the little plant carrots. Oh my goodness, those are so adorable. Janine found 2 cutting boards, which she decided to make a tiered tray out of. She gave them a little makeover, and with the help of 2 sets of wooden salt and pepper shakers, she put some feet on the bottom of the tiered tray, and I love the paint job and staining together. I think that is absolutely beautiful. She also found this cutting board with the really thick rope on it. She painted one side to say blessed and the other side to say chocolate understands. Very cute. Kathy has been picking up crewel work and needlepoint framed items for a while from thrift stores and garage sales and antique stores, and she has found some really pretty pieces all together. Oh, look at the flowers and the butterfly on that one. Oh, it's so pretty. And then she went ahead and grouped them all together in this gallery wall. In the middle, she has a clock that her daughter made in middle school, and I just think it is so pretty. I love this whole display. Rachel has found some great things at the thrift store lately, starting with this beautiful pitcher and some milk glass items, which you can never go wrong with that. She also found this set of milk glass and then this little tray, I believe, as well. What a great way to use them. And then she found this gorgeous lamp. So pretty. She also found this lamp, which I really like this. It's so unique. And then she found this suitcase, which she gave a makeover. It now looks like this on the outside, which is so cute, and this on the inside. How pretty. I love the colors. She put together this English-style gallery wall using antique store finds and thrift store finds, and it is absolutely gorgeous. She also put together this vintage floral gallery, and most of the items on this wall are thrifted as well, and I think this is so sweet as well. Myrna found this bucket, which was originally red, and she gave it a makeover. She also found the milk glass vases and the shutter behind the arrangement. She found this adorable little frame, and then she added the bee print inside of it. She also found this cute shelf, which originally had a door on the front, which she removed, and then she stained and painted it, and I think it looks so adorable, and she has it decorated so nicely too. I love it. Marici found this table at the thrift store and the candelabra, and the whole display is really pretty. She also found this ladder, which she absolutely loved, and she has filled it up with some wonderful looking plants. She also found this table, or sideboard, I think you call it, which is absolutely gorgeous. And then on top, I think look at that candelabra. Oh, so pretty. Meg has made some Easter assemblages to share with us. She thrifted the base, which is a ceramic broken egg dish, and then filled it with some goodies. The little wooden bunnies were her grandmother's, which I think is so sweet. The whole thing turned out adorable. And then she made this one as well. The planter, the ceramic basket, was also thrifted. And this one is so pretty too. I love that little postcard in the back and then the little flowers. It's so cute. Brenda found this TV stand, which she painted white, and then the only things on the shelves below that are not thrifted is the P.S. I Love You sign and her dad's tobacco pipe. She also found this table for $2 and painted it. The phone is from a garage sale, and the lamp was thrifted, and the cardinal was a gift from a friend. She found this metal bucket at a garage sale. She thrifted this table, the bluebird, and the doily. The plant was from her brother's memorial earlier this year, and the sign she's had since 1996, and she recently updated the frame. She found this lovely bench on Marketplace. She found this frame for $5.99, and everything else in this display was thrifted as well. She found this armoire from the Marketplace, and she found the stool next to it from a garage sale. She found this coffee table for $8, which she painted and then finished the top. On top of the coffee table, she has this doily and this dish, which she found at the thrift store as well. This adorable chicken was found at a garage sale, which I think is so cool. I love that chicken. She also thrifted this shelf and everything on it except for the cross. And then look at this gorgeous little flowered pitcher. So adorable. Sandra sent in some photos for us to enjoy, most of which have pictures of her vintage Pyrex and some Fire King pieces as well. I'm not sure which is which, so we'll just enjoy the pictures. And oh my goodness, look at that striped plate. I love it. That is really pretty. Also, that big clock is really cool. And then, ooh, there's some Pyrex, or is that Fire King? I am not knowledgeable enough to know the difference. Look at that refrigerator dish. Oh my goodness, I love that little cute little flowers on it. And then here's, ooh, some chickens, and that is Pyrex. And look at that, I love that color. Oh, so pretty. Here's a scale on top of a stack of dishes, which is oh so cool. Oh, and then here's some pretty dishes, and look, there is that cake decorator that she found not too long ago, tucked in there. And there's another pretty dish. I think that blue dish is a Fire King dish. That is so pretty. I love that. And then we have some pictures from Sandra B. She found this candle holder for $1.49. She found this canvas, which is absolutely gorgeous, for $2.49. And then she found these Staffordshire Bird of Paradise bowls for 69 cents each. And also these white bowls, which are from Italy, for 49 cents each. I also put together this Easter display. The bunnies she's thrifted over time, and they all sort of range from about 29 cents to $2.49. The basket was 29 cents, and the sweet little crocheted eggs were $1.48 for 8 of them. And just a nice little display. I love all the eggs and the bunnies. This photo was sent in by Cottage Creations, and everything in this photo, except for the photos and the sewing supplies, have been thrifted. She found the mirror for $9.95 and gave that a makeover. She also painted the shelf, and look at those roosters. She likes to collect roosters. She's got one here and then one over here as well. And then she recently found this cute little stool, which she gave a makeover, and she painted this adorable buffalo check on the top of it, which I absolutely love. I think it is so adorable. And finally today, Jeanette sent in this photo. She recently made this picture shelf above her sofa. The 3 frames on the left were thrifted, as well as the buffalo check blanket on the sofa below. The drawing on the far right was made by her husband, and next to that is a photo she took when she was in high school. The whole thing looks really nice, and I think she did a great job on it. All right, that was so much fun. I enjoyed that very much. I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. Thank you to everyone who sent in a photo. I appreciate that, and I just love this so much. I hope you guys don't mind that I cut this video into 2 videos. I wasn't planning to do that at the beginning of this video, but I've already filled up my video card once. And which makes me think this is, if I keep going on, this video is going to end up being like an hour and a half long, which is way too long. So breaking it up into 2 weeks, I think is a good thing. So I will do pretty much the same thing next week. I will finish answering the questions that you asked me, or any new questions that come up that you guys leave down in the comments. And then I will also show photos that viewers will send to me. So send in those photos, ask me some questions down in the comments, and we will repeat this process next week. And I think this is so much fun. I'm having fun with this. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Getting to know me a little bit better. I'm hoping in the process that I get to know you guys a little bit better, because as you guys are sending in your photos, you kind of are like telling me how you found the things or what you've done with the items, like how you redid them and stuff. And I just think that is good fun. Good fun. So I am enjoying this, and I am hoping that you are as well. All right. So send in those photos. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. If you have any questions, leave those down in the comments as well. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed today's video, hit that thumbs up. I would appreciate that. And I guess with that, I will bid you farewell for today. And I will see you again next week for another Thrift Store Thursday. Talk to you guys soon. Bye now.